Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Prabhupada Satrata Sri Srimad, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahamsa Prabhupada Satrata Sri Srimad, His Divine Grace Srila Bhaktivedanta Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananti Kori Vaishnava Brinda Ki Jai. Namachar Stil Haridasa Kor Ki Jai. Friends of the host Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasari Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Shri Radha Krishna Gita Govardhana Ki Jai. Sri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Sri Mayapur Navadip Dhama Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dhama Ki Jai. Nude Dwarka Dhama Ki Jai. Jamuna Mai Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Sri Mati Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Sri Mati Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. ISKCON BBT Founder Charges Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. All glorious assembled devotees. All glorious to the assembled devotees. All glorious to the assembled devotees. All glorious to Sri Sri Guru and Gauranga. Jai Srila Prabhupada. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 3, text number 15. Savai Bhagavato Raja Pandaveya. I was wondering why I couldn't see it. Maha Rata Bala Kridanakai Kridanakai Kridam Krishna Kridam Ya Adade Savai Bhagavato Raja Pandaveyo Maharataha Bala Kridana Kai Kridan Krishna Kridam Ya Adade Savai Bhagavato Raja Pandaveyo Maharataha Bala Kridana Kai Kridan Krishna Kridam Ya Adade Savai Bhagavato Raja Pandaveyo Maharataha Bala Kridana Kai Kridan Krishna Kridam Ya Adade Kridam Adade Savai Bhagavato Raja Pandaveyo Maharataha Krishna Kridam Adade Savai Bhagavato Raja Pandaveyo Maharataha Bala Kridan Nakai Kridan Krishna Kridam Ya Adade Savai Bhagavato Raja Pandaveyo Maharataha Bala Kridan Nakai Kridan Krishna Kridam No Adade. Mataji's. Savai Bhagavato Raja Pandaveyo Maharataha Bala Kridan Nakai Kridan Krishna Kridam Yaadade Savai Bhagavato Raja Allah Kridan Kridan Bala Kridan Bala Kridan Nakai Kridan Krishna Kridam Naadade Savai Bhagavato Raja Pandaveyo Maharataha Bala Kridanakai Kridan Krishna Kridam Nadadade. Word for word meaning. Saha, he, vai, certainly, Bhagavataha, a great devotee of the Lord. Raja, Maharaj Pariksit. Pandaveyaha, grandson of the Pandavas. Maharataha, a great fighter. Bala, while a child. Kridanakai, with play dolls. Kridan, playing. Krishna, Lord Krishna. Kridam, activities. Yaha, who. Adade, accepted. Translation and purport by Divine Grace, Srila Prabhupada. Maharaj Pariksit, the grandson of the Pandavas, was from his very childhood a great devotee of the Lord. Even while playing with dolls, he used to worship Lord Krishna by imitating the worship of the family deity. Please repeat. Maharaj Pariksit, the grandson of the Pandavas, was from his very childhood a great devotee of the Lord. Even while playing with dolls, he used to worship Lord Krishna by imitating the worship of the family deity. Purport. In the Bhagavad Gita 6:41, it is stated that even a person who has failed in the proper discharge of yoga practice is given a chance to take birth in the house of a devout brahmanas or in the houses of rich men like Kshatriya kings or rich merchants. But Maharaj Pariksit was more than that because he had been a great devotee of the Lord since his previous birth. And as such, he took his birth in an imperial family of the Kurus, and especially that of the Pandavas. So from the very beginning of his childhood, he had the chance to know intimately the devotional service of the Lord in his own family. The Pandavas, all being devotees of the Lord, certainly venerated family deities in the royal palace for worship. Children who appear in such families, fortunately, gradually imitate such worship of the deities, even in the way of childhood play. By the grace of Lord Shri Krishna, we had the chance of being born in a Vaishnava family, and in our childhood, we imitated the worship of Lord Krishna by imitating our Father. Our Father encouraged us in all respects to observe all functions such as Rath Yatra and Dola Yatra ceremonies, and he used to spend money liberally for distributing prasad to us children and our friends. Our spiritual master, who also took his birth in a Vaishnava family, got all inspirations from his great Vaishnava father, Thakur Bhaktivinod. That is the way of all lucky Vaishnava families. The celebrated Mirabai was a staunch devotee of Lord Krishna as the great lifter of Govardhan Hill. The life history of many such devotees is almost the same because there is always symmetry between the early lives of all great devotees of the Lord. According to Jiva Goswami, Maharaj Parikshit must have heard about the childhood pastimes of Lord Krishna at Vrindavan, for he used to imitate the pastimes with his young playmates. According to Sridhar Swami, Maharaj Parikshit used to imitate the worship of the family deity by elderly members. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti also confirms the viewpoint of Jiva Goswami. So, accepting either of them, Maharaj Parikshit was naturally inclined to Lord Krishna from his very childhood. He might have imitated either of the above-mentioned activities, and all of them establish his great devotion from his very childhood, a symptom of a Mahabhagavata. Such Mahabhagavatas are called Nitya Siddhas, or souls liberated from birth. But there are also others who may not be liberated from birth, but who develop a tendency for devotional service by association, and they are called Sadhana Siddhas. There is no difference between the two in the ultimate issue, and so the conclusion is that everyone can become a Sadhana Siddha, a devotee of the Lord, simply by association with the pure devotees. The concrete example is our great spiritual master, Sri Narada Muni. In his previous life, he was simply a boy of a maidservant, but through association with great devotees, he became a devotee of the Lord, of his own standard, unique in the history of devotional service. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gananjana Shalakaya Chakshu Amitam Jena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Vanchakalpa Trubhyasya Kripa Sindhavivada Paritana Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Now we've been reading some very powerful purports in the last several days, and very lengthy at that also. Today the purport's a little bit different. It gives us an insight as to the position of Nitya Siddha. And here in this verse is described Bala Kridanakai Kridan, and then Krishna Kridan. So here we see that this is the facility that's actually offered to a Vaishnava who takes birth in a Vaishnava family. And simply, it's described here simply by playing with dolls, Krishna consciousness is instilled within the heart of that particular child. So if somehow, some way or other, if someone comes in contact with Krishna, their life is successful. So herein we see that those that are lucky devotees, as Prabhupada describes, one being Parikshit Maharaj, and of course, His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada, a very lucky person, spirit soul, to take birth in a family of Vaishnavas, and in that particular family structure, imitating his father in worship of the deity. I believe the deity has Radha Govinda, wasn't it? I think he had a set of deities called Radha Govinda. And he would worship them, imitating his father, along with his sister Pishama. They would cook all their offerings, everything they would eat, they would offer to Radha Govinda. And we can see that this wasn't just something natural. Srila Prabhupada is a Nitya Siddha. Nitya Siddha means that they'll never forget Krishna. Otherwise, how do you take birth in that situation? It's a great soul who has never forgotten Krishna. And they have a mission. That mission is to preach the Krishna consciousness movement. That's why they come, these Nitya Siddhas. So they're eternally perfect. And this is, of course, Srila Prabhupada and Parikshit Maharaj here in this particular verse. So we can see that Bhakti Yoga can be practiced even by a child, as we're reading here, without interfering with their natural propensity to want to play. So they were just playing with dolls of Krishna, and they were getting their propensity. A child's propensity is one to play, have fun, enjoy. So here we see that a child in Krishna consciousness can have that propensity and still be worshiping Krishna in devotional service. And the child naturally wants to play. So Prabhupada here gives himself as an example. They would have Rath Yatra. And in that Rath Yatra, his father would liberally spend his money to distribute Krishna Prasadam during this particular festival. And this way, Srila Prabhupada became very enlivened and became even more and more absorbed in the pastimes of Krishna. So from that, we can see how that happens. We take a look at our little devotee here, Abai, little Abai. You can just see, takes birth in a Vaishnava family. We've seen him growing up here in the temple room. And each day he's looking more and more like a Vaishnava. You know, Kirta, Dodi, Tilak, playing drum. So, Abai doesn't have a PhD, does he? No. I don't, he might be taking some little courses, right, that you're teaching him. But he doesn't have, no, he doesn't have a PhD. How is it that he can actually take up this process? Yes, Srila Prabhupada's mercy. He gave him an opportunity, like you and myself, to have sadhana bhakti. And that sadhana bhakti is also, can become pure devotee of the Lord. Sadhana bhakti may be in Maya, born in a Maya family, just like we see Prahlad Maharaj. Of course, he was a Nityasiddha, but point being is that we're all born in a family of demons, non-devotees, no desire. But by the association of a pure devotee, like Srila Prabhupada in the Parampara, and by simply imitating, like right now, Abai Prabhu is just imitating. He may not have complete understanding, but it takes effect. You can see the effect of Krishna consciousness. He might not even realize what's going on, but it's taking effect. And he's here imitating, but that imitation is purification. It's punya. He's actually performing pious activity. And by that punya, that pious activity, he becomes more and more attracted to Krishna. And he becomes purified with all of the anarthas within the heart. He's becoming purified. And we're watching this process go on. So the point being is that Krishna consciousness is there within all of us. We're all Nityasiddha, really. We're all, eternal servants of the Supreme Lord. But we're just in a diseased condition right now. But everyone's a Nityasiddha, really. And Prabhupada said that regardless if you're Nityasiddhi, Sadhana Siddhi, or if you become Kripa Siddhi, it doesn't matter. Ultimately, they're all the same. They're all the same because they come to that platform of realization that they're a devotee of the Lord. So this Krishna consciousness is just meant to awaken. It's not that we're artificially imposing something on people. Sometimes people think that that's the fact. Oh, the Krishna conscious movement is imposing upon me something. No. The Krishna consciousness movement is simply offering a technique for purifying you. That's what we're doing. We're trying to purify ourselves from this contamination of the material body. And you can see that Abai has a good start, right? We're going to pick on him. Is it okay if we pick on him a little? You can see he's got a good start. He's got a head start over all of us practically here, unless you were born in a devotee family. But he's actually really got a good start to take up this process of Krishna consciousness. And you can see how glorious that actually is. And it's spontaneous in each and every one of us. This is spontaneous. It's not like that we have to do something artificial. It's not an artificial imposition. It's simply an awakening. The artificial imposition is this body. That's the artificial imposition. And the Krishna conscious movement is there to help us see how we can actually get purified, get rid of this particular disease that we're in it right now. Papa gives the example of like a boy and a girl. A boy or a girl doesn't need to go to school to have an attraction for a boy, or a girl having a boy having an attraction for a girl. We don't have to go to school to do that. I naturally grew up having an attraction. It was spontaneous. A boy naturally has an attraction for a girl, and a girl has an attraction for a boy. This is a natural, spontaneous activity. So really, Krishna consciousness is that also. All we need to do is get rid of this particular upadhi, this designation that we're so enraptured, we're so overcome by that upadhi, this body. We're so into it. We give so much substance to it. But really, bhakti is there, it's spontaneous, and Abhaya is an example of that. Isn't it? I mean, he's becoming attracted to Krishna consciousness before he's becoming attracted to a girl. Isn't it? Look at how he's taking it. So it's amazing. So it's not something that's being imposed. It's there. We're trying to help people how to uncover it by the activities of bhakti, by bhakti yoga. And that's very, very important, because Shravanadi Sudha Chitte, by having, if we simply hear about Krishna, that's the key element. Hearing. We always have to hear. The more that we hear about Krishna, the more purification. Yes, sir? Can you Yes. Thank you for reminding me. So, yes, it's extremely important. You can see, look what he's talking about. I mean, can you imagine? And how many other kids are doing so many crazy nonsense things. So he's talking about Srila Prabhupada's books. That's the purification, spontaneous. This isn't something that's staged. He's getting it. So, this is our process in Krishna consciousness. We're trying to encourage people to take up this hearing about Krishna more and more. This is the reason for book distribution. And this is for us why we have Bhagavatam class. This is the purpose of Bhagavatam class, so that we can hear. And the Bhagavatam class is very important for that. And Srila Prabhupada wanted that so much. He wanted all of us to hear. Shrimvatam Svakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtanat Hilyanta Sohi Abhadrani Vidunoti Surit Satam. Very important. Supersoul, Paramatma, is within the heart of each and every living entity. And that Paramatma is the benefactor of a truthful devotee. That's the key element. Truthful devotee. If we're truthful, then the Paramatma, the Supersoul in the heart, it'll eradicate all those material desires within the heart. It'll take it away. It'll dissipate it. And then that's only happening, though, for a person who has the urge to hear the messages, which in themselves are virtuous, when heard and chanted properly. So that's the technique of Krishna consciousness. We have to want to hear. And if we hear the message, then the Paramatma, Supersoul in the heart, gives you the intelligence. Sarvasya Hridi Saministo Mata Snitir Jnanam Apohanam Cha. Krishna's in the heart. He's with you everywhere you go, even in a roach, an ant. Krishna's there as Paramatma. But if we develop the urge to hear the messages of Vasudeva, Paramatma will eradicate the material desires within the heart, the anarthas. And we have so many of those in our heart. We know that. And we see that we're struggling. And the struggle is natural, though, because we've accepted this particular position, so we're naturally struggling. And we need to have this association of devotees in hearing the Bhagavatam. It's described that the body is a disease condition. So what does that mean? Well, let's just take, for example, our body. a really natural, healthy body is one that can eat good, right? If you're healthy, you eat good. You talk good. You enjoy eating. You want to enjoy good sex life. These are the things that people really, this is considered, this is a healthy body. But the minute that you can't eat properly, or you can't sleep properly, you can't speak properly, you're in a diseased condition, isn't it? Yeah. So this is called the diseased condition. So the soul, because attracted to this material body, it's in a diseased condition, and we're suffering like anything. We're birth, death, old age, and disease. This is what's going on. So by hearing about Krishna, we can get rid of this disease condition. It's called Bhava Rog. Bhava Rog means taking repeated birth, just constantly taking birth. This is Bhava Rog. It's a disease condition of life. And we see that there is a remedy. That remedy is Bhavausadi. Bhavausadi is that if we simply chant the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. By that activity, that's the medicine. Just like if you go to a doctor and you're diseased, it's not like he can do something mechanical for you to help you eat. You're diseased. So we have to get rid of the disease. It's not something mechanical. Krishna consciousness is not mechanical. It's not mechanical. It's not an artificial imposition. It's who you really are, a servant of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So it's not artificial. Sometimes people think, well, the Krishna conscious movement, well, you're artificially doing something. You're imposing upon me. Chant 16 rounds, follow the regulative principles. You're imposing about my free will, my freedom, which is really the opposite. It's there to help us become purified, to become to the point where we can actually feel freed and happy and satisfied. This is the real Krishna consciousness. And this Bhava Rog, taking birth after birth after birth, is horrible. It's a position that is, you can just see, there's so many difficulties. And you don't even know who your mother and father will be. You have no idea. It's up to the material energy according to your activity. So this is suffering in this material world. Hardcore suffering. So we see that the position of a pure devotee like the Nitya Siddha, they're never forgetting Krishna, but they come specifically to give us Krishna consciousness, give us an opportunity to learn about Krishna. And that is the glory of Srila Prabhupada. And of course, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the most merciful incarnation of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada came and he gave us an opportunity to become a sadhana bhakta. Right? Yeah. And in order to get that benefit, we have to become a sadhana siddhi. We have to do sadhana. That's important. That's how we get to become a pure devotee of the Lord. That's the formula. This is the formula. Take it. This is what Prabhupada is saying. Take this formula. So, you can see that it's so difficult for us, because of who we are. What's that verse? Sarvapadi vinir mukta tapala nirmalam rishikena rishikesha sevanam bhakti uchate. That if we just simply hear about Krishna and we perform some service, you get rid of this upadi. You get rid of the designation. So we have to do that. We have to hear and chant and perform service to Krishna. That's the formula. And sometimes we may have to ask ourselves, well, what am I doing here? We're in Krishna consciousness, but maybe sometimes in a private little manner, you may have to go into your room or somewhere and just ask yourself, look in the mirror and just say, what am I doing here? Why am I here? And answer that question to yourself. And if your answer truthful, like it says here, truthfully and, The Paramatma super soul's there. So you're not fooling anybody. Super soul's there. And the super soul does engage with the truthful devotee. So it's between you and Krishna, super soul. And we should look at ourselves and say, well, what am I doing here? Well, I want to be a devotee. Well, what does it mean to be a devotee? We need to know. We need to know what it means. What does it mean to be a sadhana siddha? It means performing sadhana, doesn't it? Isn't that, that's the word. We know that word sadhana. So it means that we perform sadhana. And that is extremely important. We can't wait for Kripa Siddha. I don't know if we want to wait that long. You might wait for a lot of births. Lord Nityananda was very merciful. He decided that he was going to liberate Jagai and Madai. So he went on his own, and he did that. I'm not sure if anybody's going to come after us and give it, you know. That's a pretty big, tall order. Nityasiddha, I mean, come on. For us, that's inconceivable. But sadhana, which is given to us by a pure devotee of the Lord, Srila Prabhupada. This is his movement here. He's simply, a Nityasiddha is giving us the formula to get out of the material world. And if we don't take that formula seriously, then how are we going to get out? So that's why you may have to look in the mirror, look at yourself and ask, what am I doing here? Do you want to get out? Yeah, do you want to get out of this bhava rogue? Do you want to get out of it? That's what we have to ask ourselves. And if you want to get out, then you'll engage. You'll do what it takes in order to get out of this material world. That's a smart thing to do. And then you get out of that diseased position. Just like when someone goes to a physician, he says, take this medicine. When you can actually eat very nicely again, you go, oh yeah. You know, you feel, okay, good, man, I'm finally, I was suffering there. You know, so when you perform sadhana bhakti, you'll get relief. You'll have understanding. Why? I'm not a product of this material world. I'm a spirit soul. I'm not this body. And then we'll want to work on that level. You won't want to just say it. Again, that comes to being a truthful devotee. You're not just going to say it. Oh, yes, I'm a bhakta. I'm going to perform bhakti yoga. In the meantime, we're not doing that. You know, maybe we're not coming to the program every day. That's part of the process. Maybe we're not chanting 16 rounds a day. That's the process. Are we eating Krishna prasadam? That's part of the process. Are we accepting the science of Krishna consciousness, as Prabhupada has set it up here? There's so many things that are involved. We don't have time to go through all of them, but there's so many things that we have to do. Those are just some of the principal things. Are we coming to see the deity every day? Do we have this taste to really come and see the deity, Rukmini Dwakadish, every day? Yeah, do we have that taste? Or to see Gaur Nitai, Jagannath Baladev Subhadra? Do we have the taste of that austerity of getting up in the morning and taking that bath and coming over here and seeing the Lord? It takes a certain taste, a determination. It takes a certain type of austerity that you accept upon yourself. That's part of Krishna consciousness. That's the package deal. It's not that you can come here, you know, sometimes you go somewhere, they give you a package deal. Okay, if you pay this much, this is what you get. Ding, 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 ding. So, sadhana bhakti, it's a package deal. You can't take this and, I'm not going to do this. No. No, it comes as a package. You go into a store sometimes and say, please don't unwrap the package. Don't touch that. So you can't touch that. You can't, by our whim, touch that. It's the package deal as given to us by Srila Prabhupada. And we have to accept that. And that is Krishna consciousness. And it's hard to hear, it's hard to deal with it, but it's the truth. That's what it is. And our position is to encourage that. We as devotees, this is what we offer. If we're a truthful devotee, this is what we'll offer to someone. This is what I'm giving you. Here it is. This is what it is. As it is. Oh, I brought this here. I almost forgot. I brought this here because I wanted to read some things to you today. Just a couple of more minutes, I'm sorry. 3 or 4 minutes here, okay? This is letters by, this is Shikshamrita. These are letters by Srila Prabhupada that he wrote to his devotees. Okay, I'll read some pretty dynamite ones. Why not? This is a letter written in 1974. Our activities of Arti Kirtan classes, just as we do here in Los Angeles, everything is done in conformity to a regular standard. For example, all the temple members, without exception, must rise by 4 a.m. and attend Mangal Arti. Everyone living in the temple must agree to the standard by proper understanding of the philosophy of tapasya. We cannot expect our guests to follow all the principles, but whoever lives in the temple must follow. That means all must sit down together and hear the Bhagavatam class, just as I held it day after day when I was at the manor. There should be a regular daily schedule of events, and it should be followed closely. After the class and breakfast, everyone should go to their respective duties. Deity worship, Sankirtan, cleanup, and so throughout the day, this atmosphere of constant engagement will produce the truly happy result of transcendental life. So you should set the example and also see that the others are following. Our buildings are not for our sleeping in and eating like hotels. But whoever wants to join us should understand the philosophy of regulated devotional service. Pretty neat, huh? When I was reading it, I didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Just a couple more, because these are real nectar, really. You should understand that when you sat at the fire sacrifice upon your initiation, you made a vow to the spiritual master at that time. So you should not break these vows. You say that you appreciate the association of devotees, but how will you withstand the material attraction if you are not chanting Hare Krishna offenselessly and regularly? Affection for the spiritual master and following the instructions of the spiritual master is the same. My instruction is that all of my disciples must attend the Mangal Arti and chant 16 rounds daily. One more. Upon your recommendation, I am initiating the following disciples. You must see that they strictly follow the regulative principles, the 4 prohibitions, as well as the devotional practices of rising early, taking morning bath, putting on tilak, attending Mangala Arti, chanting japa 16 rounds, and attending Srimad Bhagavatam class. This is the duty of all my initiated disciples, whether they are big or they are small. Actually, in our movement, there is no such thing as big or small. Everyone is devotee, so everyone is expected to follow the devotional practices. Here in Vrindavan, I'm enjoying my disciples and how they are speaking. So 2 times daily, everyone must attend the classes. During the morning and evening times, there should be no business, simply kirtan, chant, dance, and be purified. Do not be Paramahamsa that now I haven't got to hear Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. Don't be a better Paramahamsa than your Guru Maharaj. I go and I sit and I enjoy the lectures and how they are performing kirtan. So as I am doing, you must also do. This is Srila Prabhupada. This is not speculation. This is what Prabhupada wanted. So we should look at this information and we should digest it and try our best to be good devotees, follow the instruction of the Acharya to our utmost. And again, when we're reading this, it's not meant to criticize. It's simply an issue of sadhana bhakti. If that's what we want to be, to go back home, back to Godhead. This is what it takes. You have to take the instruction of the doctor, the physician. So if you're sick in a diseased condition of life, this is the instruction. If one is physically sick, obviously one should not be coming. Just like during this pandemic, if you're sneezing, coughing, whatever, don't come. So if one is ill, it's understandable. We're not talking about someone that's sick or has a legitimate. This is those of us that are so-called healthy. Okay? Thank you very much for your attention. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you.